Hello and welcome to the Round 6 review for Supercoach 2022. It's George from Fantasy Tech TV, and we'll speak about how we went this week. We went pretty bad. 2,149, ranked 31k. That is crap, and we have 24 trades, and we'll have 21 after this week, because why not use more trades? So we used a boost to get Whitfield to Hull out, and then we used another boost to get Hull to Sicily. So we blew two boosts for no reason. It shouldn't have happened in the first place, but I think Whitfield looks like a decent trade out. Whitfield's like not even top 35 defenders at the moment. It's pretty crazy, but I think he looks a little bit better than he was, but yeah, kind of happy we got rid of him. We just got rid of him for the wrong player. Trades were in Sicily, out Aaron Hall, out Hinge, in Hobbs. Didn't really want to do this, didn't know the timeline on Roses. So yeah, for those that are unaware, Roses has a calf issue. I did not know the timeline. I had to go to either Perez or Hobbs, or go really early. Actually, no, Greg Clark, we couldn't have gone too early on him, who's playing this week. So it was either Perez or Hobbs. Went with Hobbs. Felt like most people were going Hobbs. Perez is probably extra 2 years in the system, probably better role. Hindsight, I should have used my brain and went for Perez, I think, but I wasn't 100% sure. I think Perez was training with the mid group, so he was going to play wing, which he hasn't scored well on so far. So Hobbs had a 65 in his system, so maybe I thought Hobbs maybe gets a bit more mid time. He wasn't that great when he went in the middle. Plays kind of a dead role at half forward, so brought in Hobbs. I'd be happy to fade him if you don't have him, but didn't know Rose's injury timeline, so that would have been nice if we knew that. Then the other trade was Rao to Petrarca, and that went so fantastically well that Petrarca had 8 disposals in the first half. Just didn't look super great, but he was really good in the first 2 rounds, so hopefully he can recapture that form. Fingers crossed there's nothing with the knee happening, because really, given there are some... I think Goodwin has said twice that his knee's fine, but had some extra strapping on it during the week or something like that, or the week before, so maybe he's fine, but maybe he should have gone for someone else, but it's only been 1 week, so could score 150 next week, could score 80 again, who knows. So hopefully this was a good trade-in. Kind of wish I had Ben Keys. I think he would be fun to own, but that's whatever. So yeah, trades. Sicily and Petrarca in. So happy with Sicily in. Not too happy with Hobbs. Not too happy with Petrarca, but I guess that's all we could afford. So it is what it is. So yeah, team is it's not horrendous. It's just not great. And unfortunately, this year's very unforgiving. And errors getting baited into Lipinski, not seeing a good sample size of him because of the injury in the preseason. Going for Aaron Hall, very silly risk. Avoid him in the preseason because of his injury, and then bring him in and just forget the reason why you didn't start him. So yeah, not a whole lot of margin for error this year. And it's errors like those two where Hall cost me 2 boosts, just really painful 2 trades, and then Lipinski just hasn't looked great since round 1, unfortunately. So probably concede defeat on that one this week, unfortunately, but yeah. So into the back line. So our back 4, Chris Hewitt, Sicily, Short. I think it's a solid back 4. We'll go through the defenders after. I was thinking about Jake Lloyd, but Lloyd's been a bit up and down depending on his kick-ins, so I wasn't sure how much his kick-ins were affecting him. And then I didn't watch the game today because out for lunch. Saw the second game with Collingwood Essendon, but scoring at just a 70, given the way a lot of defenders are going, and I assume McInerney, Blakey, Campbell are eating into his score a fair bit. So I'm a little bit worried about Jake Lloyd, and probably not worth touching for the time being. So I honestly have no idea who to upgrade to here. It's probably Sinclair and Doherty, but they are very expensive. I don't know how we're going to come up with money for that, considering we need to pay for Oliver, Steele, probably another 600k. So yeah, Chris was good today. Hewitt good as always. Didn't see Sicily, but we take 110s. And Short is okay. Don't notice him much, but seems to just get involved when the play's dead a lot, so that's fine. Dacos 71. I still think we hold him to the buy. His break even is 80. Oh, that's a lot. No, we'll hold. He's slowed down a bit. What's 3-round average of 89 still? That's fine. So sometimes you wonder maybe they're tiring a bit, maybe they need a rest, but yeah, that's fine. I wasn't super involved today, but we'll just keep holding. Hopefully, I mean, look at all our other rookies, like 30, 30, 30, 14, 16, 44, 40, absolute dog shit. So, yeah, it is one of his worst games, and he's 30 points clear of 7 other of my rookies. So, we hold Dacos, even if he drops a bit of money, I think he can get to 400, so just keep holding. Driscoll disappointing. When he got his limited chances, he kind of burnt it at times, so that did not help his score. He plays Geelong over there, so I would have probably benched him this week for McCartan, but McCartan is out, could be out for 2 weeks, I think. I'm not sure, depending on their fixture. 12 days, I think he has to have off. Might be okay for 1 game, not sure. And then DeConing, well, SDK is one of our best rookies now, which is pretty bad. But, yeah, he looks good back there. He gets involved. It's a bit... We traded Gibcus a few weeks ago to Nathan O'Driscoll. Gibcus, like... Gibcus showed signs of getting involved in cheap play, and DeConing does as well. Plus, they both have intercepting capabilities. So, Gibcus was, yeah, failed trade out, I guess. But I feel like O'Driscoll had to come in. We just got rid of the wrong player, unfortunately. Should have got rid of like a McDonald or something, but whatever. Midfield, so the old reliable McRae to Neil failed miserably this week, and now all our mids failed anyway, so apart from Cripps. So yeah, if you told me 6 weeks ago that my best mid would be Patrick Cripps just about, if you take out the injury game, he would be our M1. Yeah, I would have said no way, but yeah. I'm glad we held Cripps, and kind of glad we have him, even though we made some bad trade outs to get him. At least we got him, and we had money for him, so we'll use leftover money, which we used on Lipinski, which didn't really work anyway, but at least we have Cripps. I think Cripps is top 8 the way he looks, but I just gotta hope that he maintains it, and the week off should probably help him. So yeah, mids with McRae. I think the Crows had an extra at stoppage, so what would happen is they'd have a ball up at the centre bounce, and then a forward from the Crows, I think it was Lockie Murphy, most of the time, would run to the middle, and the Crows would have an extra at stoppage. So I'm not sure if the Bulldogs did the same, but they just made forced congestion, and it meant that Dunkley and Libba just kept feeding it out, but they couldn't get much spread. So all the points went to Dunkley and Libba doing the in and under work, but the players that can spread well, like Baz and McRae, it just wasn't happening with those two that game. So bit of a good coaching tactic that could work against the Dogs. But yeah, I'll probably still captain him against Essendon. Although Essendon's midfield was pretty good this game. I think they beat the Collingwood midfield in terms of clearances, but yeah, it's whatever. Neil would have been nice to see more from him. Took was very frustrating. Gave away 3 frees off the bat. Was on like -9, -8 or something, and then just clawed his way back. So yeah, I don't know if failed starting pick is the right word, but he was like the wrong player to start. Should have been Steele or Clary in that spot, but we did have Steele. Got rid of him for Cripps, but whatever. Yeah, painful trade. Petrarca, disappointing. Please bounce back next week. Cripps was really good, so happy we have Cripps. Brody was good. Brody's probably keeper. Just, does he slow down or not? How does he go with a 5-back in the team? But yeah, he's really useful in that role, and I think he's like really highly ranked on the AFL rankings. I think he's like top 20 almost, something like that. And his tog was good, so it'll be up and down. Zach Butters, this is a pretty unpleasant roller coaster. So apparently he had gastro in the week, so I'll give him another excuse pass, another 50, another something's gone wrong with him. As my screen is reloading. So yeah, with Butters, just hold and hopefully he plays better next week. Nick Martin was really good today. Took a few marks around the ground. And then yeah, our bench was crap. So Horn Francis can go this week. His break even is 83. So I could have got rid of him last week. If we got rid of Horn Francis, we could have gone for someone more expensive other than Petrarca, but it's whatever. Rochelle, again, it's, yeah, what's his break even? 85. So I think it's time for him to go, unfortunately. These guys can still reset their break even and make money, but I think they're the ones that have to go. And then Hobbs, yeah, disappointing. Didn't really want him, but yeah, bloody Rose's calf. And then the Ruck line. So Grundy bounced back. He was good. So it felt like Grundy was watching tape of Gorn because he was setting up behind the play a lot. Was able to take a few grabs. Got a bit lucky with a 50 and kicked a goal at the end. But otherwise, solid game. I think he's top 3 Ruck still. Probably top 4. Top 4 looks like Gorn, Darcy, not including English, Wits and Grundy. Probably any of those two, I think you're happy. I probably want Gorn as one of them though. Sean Darcy will definitely score probably second or first highest, but just durability. And then yeah, Bruce looked as bad as it was trading Gorn. I think opening up a slot for Bruce and Hayes, well at the time at least opening up a spot for Bruce, I think was like you could see the thinking behind it. So yeah. As bad as it was trading Gorn, he's been like a top 3 player the past since we traded him out, but we wanted to make room for Bruce, and his money and now Hayes' money is going to be very useful. So as bad as it looks trading out Gorn, you say you traded Gorn, like how could you be so stupid? But at least we opened up a slot here to make money. So there we go. It kind of helps the structure, means we don't have to field like one of these dog mids or whatever. And forward line dunks immense. Heaney, I didn't see the game, but I mean, I ain't getting mad at Isaac. He carried the team so far. Wasn't for him, we'd be much worse off. Pat Lip, needed a big one from Pat Lip, and that was disappointing. Yeah. So I think round 1 was an outlier, and we got baited, and I think we hold for now, because there's nothing we can do about him, but yeah, this was his first really bad score. So, yeah, really, his fourth quarter was just clanger after getting caught holding the ball, and then to top it off, kicked out on the full near the end of the game. So just a disaster of a fourth quarter. He's good ball user. I'm actually done talking about Lipinski. I think we just hold him to the bye and get rid of him then. So, yep, a shame, but hopefully he comes good. Cogs was okay. Cherry, not super great, but he's got more money to make. Jack Hayes ACL, yeah, hopefully his rehab goes well, because it's been very fun watching him play. So very sad, but he'll be back. He's a star. So yeah, team is I don't know, like where do we go from here? So in defense, who could we go? We'll look at that in a second. In the midfield, well, we need Clary, we need Steele, and then one. And I'm thinking Sam Walsh or Ben Keys, or even Laird, whichever. So it will be one of those three, I think. God knows how we're going to afford Jack Steele, though. We'll see how we go. So we can get Clary this week, so we'll do that in a second. And then probably, hopefully get to Gorn. Honestly, like, Bruce, I think we just keep holding till he blows up. So, yeah, I think it's wishful to think that he'll just carry him to the buys and then upgrade him to Gorn after the buy, when, you know, there will be rests in between. Might be an injury here or there. So, yeah, got through the game well, and yeah, he's scoring very well. You can see he did not capitalize on his hit outside advantage. Giants mids were just stationary and lost. So that was against St Kilda, I think. So yeah, St Kilda were like reading his taps okay, but yeah, he did. I still think he can go 95 plus from here, so it's good that we have him, and he'll make a lot of money. Forwards, well, we have 6 forwards. The last one, we'd need to flip Lipinski, and it's probably Luke Parker. However, Parker, if you want to grab Parker, it's probably this week, but I'm not quite, like, Parker's mid-minutes have gone back up the last 2 weeks, but I don't know if that fluctuates. It was 3 weeks ago where he scored 40, so Parker is going to be very frustrating to own. And I was checking the scores. I think at half-time he was like on 20-something like that. So Parker will be a little bit frustrating to own, but he has a history of being up and down. There will be big scores with him. So for 470k, I quite like Luke Parker as an option up forward. So our trades this week, we're already pretty low. We're going to use our third boost. So that means, well, in the near future, I don't think we can boost because we simply don't have enough cash makers to cut. So we'll do our trades. We'll speak about our next week's plans, and then we'll go through what we think of the top line players. So Horn Francis, Rochelle, both can go. So Horn Francis out, Rochelle out. Who's the other one that can go out? Jack Hayes got to go too. Okay, we'll do that in a sec. So we'll bring in... So it sounds like Roses is going to play this week. We can wait on Greg Clark, he's going to play this week. So we'll go Roses. And then we'll go... Sam Hayes. I don't know why we can't do our trades all 3 at once, but... So we'll do that, and then it's so unfortunate because a lot of these plays were projected to make more money, and they've just all crashed and burned. Activate our boosts. Oh, we might have deactivated it last time. That gives us 620k. Hallelujah! We can just afford Clayton Oliver. So there's a whole bunch of mids that I like, but I don't really want to be without Clayton Oliver anymore. So it's very frustrating that we're getting him off a big game, but he's bottomed in price. His break-even's like 70. He's probably gone if we don't get him in the short term. You know, he could come back to 600 later in the year, but for the time being, he's got the 168 in his price. Another big one with his soft fixture, and he's gone. We'll never get him, so... That definitely makes the midfield McRae, Neal, Oliver, Miller, Petrarca, Cripps. It's just missing Steele. But yeah, I think it's a solid enough 6. It could be a little better. Say like Petrarca, Steele over Petrarca would be awesome, but that's okay. We only paid 570 for Petrarca, I guess. So what do we do next week? So we've got to fix up this on field. So like honestly, do we actually field Lipinski? So unfortunately, we got to field Roses this week. But that's just for 1 week. So next week, our trade plans, I think we'll go Durden to Greg Clark, who's going to play 1 game. So happy to go early on him. I'll bring him in fantasy, chuck him on field. You could chuck Greg Clark on field. His numbers have been quite good. I think they've been wanting to get him in. So if you're unaware, he's the mature age West Coast rookie. I think he won won some award in the Waffle or something. Has huge numbers. And then that will let us get Nick Martin at F6. And then we really can't do anything else then because, you know, there's no defender rookies to downgrade to. If there's someone we can get rid of Connor McDonald to, we could. So that could be 160k in the bank. 19 trades with 5 upgrades. And then hopefully go for like Luke Parker or Jack Steele or something, depending on like, do we cut Cherry, for example? So we'll see how we go. We'll check. I just want to have a quick look at the defenders. So your Callum Mills, we'll speak about Mills in a sec. So we'll go to the defenders. So who do we want here? Zoom right in. We'll probably want Doherty. I think he's D1 with Hewitt. Again, I'll worry slightly about his durability, but yeah, he's scoring. He has a history. Like, he's scored like this before. They're playing a friendly style. So I don't mind Doherty. He's probably worth the durability risk. But that does worry me. I think he's 28 as well, so he's not actually that old. So Hewitt, we have Sinclair's durability is pretty good. He had a 1 week hamstring. That's basically it for the past 3 years. So I think I probably wouldn't worry too much about that. But 570, like how the hell are we going to afford that? I think he'll regress a little bit to sub 110. But yeah, been immense. Houston's an interesting one. Playing a different role. The thing is, like, I think he's like set in his role this year, and he had issues with his AC joint last year. So I think we're going to get an improved Houston. I don't really trust him, to be honest, but I don't mind it if you want to go for him. We have Sicily. Probably not going to go for May. Pendlebury, I like Pendlebury. Just doesn't really suit our buy. Even though he's old, he's still a king. And then it's like, who the hell can we afford? Like, Dawson's coming down a bit. He's 530k with 120 break even. So if Dawson gets to 500, I'd be happy to go for him. I think they'll move on to a wing eventually, which he should score better in, but I'm not 100% sure. And like Witherden, what the hell? Witherden is turned into Aaron Hall, I think, of last year. Pretty crazy stuff. So if you have him, well done. Durability's not the best, and it's very pricey, and he's never really done it for a full season either, so I'm not too sure. But we know he's always had some like high scoring in him, because when he's been given chances without Hearn, he's scored really, really well. So honestly, I have no idea. Ideally, it's Doc and Sinclair, but I don't think we can afford that. Maybe one of them, and then if Dawson comes down to 500, we could go for Dawson or something. In terms of the midfielders, like Callum, I don't know how anyone could have picked Callum. It's the third week where he's had issues with his leg, but he's still playing fine and like scoring well. So I would never pick a player that's currently playing injured. Except I picked Petraga, who could potentially be, so I just sold out on my fundamentals, but the coach said he was fine, so I just thought he was fine. But yeah, to score 200 off low time on ground and potentially playing a little bit injured is just unheard of. So yeah, I think I had Callum at M8 in my rankings before I found out that he had limited preseason, but I don't think we'll grab Callum. He's gone. Yeah, what's his break even? 36. So he's going to get to 700, and there's nothing we can do about it. Broke, probably just ignore him. Brayshaw's pretty good, but his buy is pretty bad for us. So that's a really good price for Brayshaw. I'd snap him up if you can. Clary is definitely one you want to get. He's bottomed out. I like Ben Keys a lot. 129 on the Dogs. He's been immense this year, so I think it'll be fun to own. Green probably pass on, even though he's been good. Steel we definitely want, but like we can't get 650. Oh, he's going up to break even of 107. He's going to keep going up. So yep, I don't know how we're going to get Jack Steele. Maybe post buy or something. And then forwards. Do we want English? I think English will still be good when he comes back. A bit worried about their hamstring though. Libba I don't mind. I think the issue with Libba is he's 30 odd. We don't know week to week how Bevo is going to use him. And you know he played 21 last year, but before that he hadn't played 20 plus games for like 4 or 5 years. So yeah, he looks good though. He's still their best clearance player. Taranto, I like Taranto until I just have to remind myself he's coached by Leon Cameron. Don't really like Treloar. I think he's okay though. I don't mind Luke Parker. Parker's big scores can offset the bad scores. So for 470k, for someone who went 108 last year, I think Parker's actually a decent pick. So actually, if I had to pick one from here, I'd probably go for, outside of English, I'd go for Luke Parker. So, yep. So yeah, that's my thoughts on some of the top players this year. Cash management's going to be very tough now because we've overtraded. We always overestimate cash gen, and now it's gotten terrible. We just need defender downgrade options, I think. So we'll see how we go. So hopefully your week went better than mine. I think next week, apart from F6, hopefully we have a better week. We need Lipinski to bounce back, but plays Gold Coast. Probably not happening, but anyway, thanks for watching. And yeah, for the Q&A this week, we'll condense it a bit and do a different format. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.